Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to the Blitzburg Coverage Podcast. I am your host, K Freaking Mac. Here we are reporting live from a Friday as we head into a very special weekend here with lots of NFL stuff going down. Week number 15? 14? I want to say. Got a big show going on for y'all today as we're in episode 62. Coming off of 4 straight AFC North games, 3-1 over that stretch. And now we're heading into a big game Sunday between interstate rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, 10-3, heading on the road to a house of horrors in Philadelphia, a place in which they haven't won since 1965. 10-0 in the Super Bowl era, no wins. Obviously, they don't play each other that often, but it's every 4 years, give or take. And so there's a lot to preview in this game. Should be a good one. The Eagles 11-2 on the season, 9 straight dubs, coming off of a pretty close win, over the Carolina Panthers. Steelers come off of a pretty big win over the Browns. Health-wise, I'll just speak from Pittsburgh's perspective, as the injury report just came out. Obviously, no George Pickens is going to be massive. Our wide receiver 1, who we were able to get away with not having last weekend against Cleveland, which was a very up to the last second injury designation. He injured us, hamstring injury last Friday during practice, was questionable to play. Sounded like he was going to play, but then ultimately got sat out there about an hour prior to kickoff. But as we head into this game, we're going to be down a couple players. Deshaun Elliott, starting strong safety. That's going to suck. I've had him all season. A free agent acquisition from the Ravens. A pretty good safety. More towards the box. Good at run stopping. That's going to suck. We'll have Kazee in there instead. Devontae Kazee, who is a decent special teams player, but is going to be asked to step into a bigger role. And so, also going to be down starting defensive lineman Larry Ogunjobi, who's been okay this year. Not too special, not too bad. Just a decent run stop kind of guy. Not really much of a pass rusher. But obviously gonna need to play an A+ game here heading into Philadelphia. I think, speaking give or take, the number one priority here is to stack the box. Got to try to stop Saquon or slow him down. Kind of similar to how we played Baltimore. Going to have to stop, Saquon, who is their engine of their offense. And try to make Jalen Hurts beat us through the air. But we'll kind of bounce back and forth here because I do have a special guest. And for the first time ever in 62 episodes, I am going to be having a guest on today's show. My older brother, I'm not going to say his name. I'll let him just say that if he wants to. Who has been a big time Eagle fan for most of his life. I know he was back and forth with the Colts and Browns for family reasons and demographics and all. But so I'm going to hand him the mic and he can kind of take the ropes for the show and just kind of let him say what he wants to say, and we can just kind of go off of that. So here we go.
I mean, do you got to hand me the mic, or you think it will pick up from here?
I'll give you the microphone.
Okay, so I'll just kind of keep it in the middle. Hopefully you can still hear me, but if not...
You can see based off the sound levels.
You can barely hear me. Goodness. Philly, Pittsburgh. First time. First let me introduce myself before we even get into the game. I am a YouTuber channel. This is my younger brother. I took the name. He's also on YouTube as well, under the name of MewTwoFan88, as well as Mackie Fitness. Go give him a subscribe. He doesn't really use the channel anymore for fitness stuff because he's got his own stuff now, especially with Blitzburg Podcast, the Chuckle Up Podcast, which you also check out between our other brother and then his also close friend who is still a Saints fan, won't admit it.
Closet.
The Saints suck. But
Saints fan.
As soon as the Saints start getting good, he'll come back to the NFL. He'll trash Michigan because Michigan's on the downward trend. The Saints, I think, might be on the upward trend once they get rid of the GM. We'll see if that happens. But yeah, that's kind of how he is. He's kind of a bandwagoner in a way. They do podcasts together. And he's had this podcast for what? Chuckle Up Podcast has been season since Wentz? So about 2017, 2018? Is that right?
No, honestly, this start
2020.
Shekel Up started Shekel Up started about 3-ish years ago. It was originally started by Tony and his friend Andrew/Derek, but
He's not even in there anymore.
he's not in it anymore. But he still supports it. But now it went from those two to last year it was Hunter, Tony, and I, and now this year we have a fourth person, Eric, who's pretty cool. An older gentleman in his mid-30s, married, all that. Big Notre Dame fan and a big Chicago Bears fan. So totally different flavor and variety.
Oh, yeah.
Totally different than what we're used to.
Probably more depressed given how the Chicago Bears seem to always play.
Yeah, no, he knows.
Yeah, he
But
knows.
I'll give you back the mic so you can.
So, I mean, I guess we can just go back and forth. But
Yeah.
yeah, been an Eagles fan since Don McNabb tore his ACL and Jeff Garcia came in. That was my first season as a Philly fan. Been watching Philly since. Was part of the 4-12 season, the Dream Team season, the Chip Kelly era, which also just ended in Ohio State. Then getting to listen to LaShawn McCoy talk about all the weird things that Chip Kelly did. It's like, yeah, no wonder why Ohio State got rid of him like lightning quick. But yeah, just definitely, I'm surprised that man still had a job going back to college after what he did in the NFL with Riley Cooper, the racism
The racism.
that was going on in that organization, him putting to my opinion, one of, if not the best GM to ever exist, in the corner, in the office, and just take over. Like, that man was just a monster trading away Nick Foles, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson.
That trade
Yeah.
with Kiko and LaShawn McCoy was criminal.
Yeah.
Criminal.
Just having all of that. Also, just FYI, you might be able to use your phone's audio as well for yours.
Oh, you know, you
Sure,
can. I can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can just do
So
it as well.
I'll just take a look at both.
So, but just going through all of that, the ups and downs of being a Philly fan versus always being on the ride high with 6 Super Bowl wins, getting to see 3 of them.
2.
2.
I got to watch 3 Super Bowls,
Oh.
but I lost 1. 1-2.
Yeah, but that's still 3. I've only gotten to see 2. Literally 2. 1-1, lost 1.
You didn't get to watch.
I wasn't a fan of the
That's
Eagles
right.
back then.
That's right.
I came in the 06 season when
After.
05-06. Yeah, after.
After.
Yeah, the
Okay.
season after.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Let me clarify because he messed it up here. I was never a Cleveland Colts fan. I didn't really know football until I was brought on by the Eagles. That's when I really kind of dove in. It was because then my mom got me Madden that following year for Madden 06. Don McNabb was on the cover. I made like a bunch of creative characters that were like 7 foot and like as fat and muscular as you can get them. I mean, it just looked horrendous. And this guy right here and I, we would just play. And he'd play alongside with me. That's the only time he ever was he played as an Eagles fan. As like a fan, and then he started learning the NFL. Like, there's a video of us on YouTube where he doesn't even know what the NFL draft is, and he talks about that. So we've definitely been through it. Grow up together, watching football. We gone to Steelers-Eagles game 12 years ago.
Yep.
2011?
2012.
So-
October of 2012.
So yeah, it's
And we went to Browns Steelers in 2011.
yeah, and that was terrible.
Yeah.
I never want to go to a Browns game again.
Not the most friendly.
Yeah, no.
Not even just because we were rivals, but just not the most friendly, inviting, warming, welcoming type of atmosphere.
I don't know what would have been worse. It's probably Cleveland, but Cleveland at that time or Philly at that time, because at that time neither of us had gotten a Super Bowl yet, and still
Right.
Cleveland still has yet to get that.
Probably never will.
No, because they keep messing up a quarterback. I mean, Baker Mayfield.
How do you mess that up? How do you mess that up?
I mean, to their defense, Deshaun Watson, last time you saw him, was playing lights out
At Houston.
at Houston. Like, he's definitely a better player at that point than Baker Mayfield. You get the players around him. You get Amari Cooper. You get Odell Beckham. You get Nick Chubb. You have a great offensive
Kareem
line.
Hunt.
You have Kareem Hunt, that two-headed monster. Then you have a great defense.
Good line.
It's like you can't really go wrong. The only thing missing was Joe Schwartz. That was their longtime tackle. That was like who's
Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas. Yeah, that's the only thing missing. Like, because that dude deserved a ring because how well he played.
He was a great player there.
He was a great player, and it's just the fact that you could have that. I mean, now Cleveland again has to go back to the drawing board. And I think this time they'll probably get it right because they're doing a lot of things right in Cleveland. They got the receiver. They still got a pretty good offensive line. They have a good running back. Their defense looks horrendous. Jim Schwartz needs to get it together. I think just a lot of players are old. But we're talking about the Browns versus
Philly. We're getting off track, but that's all right. That's all right.
That's just how we do when we get talking about NFL. So I've been telling him this, and he gave his take on Philly and
leading up throughout the week because we've been talking about this for a hot minute.
Like the past couple months, just because given this is the first time in a while that Philly and Pittsburgh have the potential to go deep in the playoffs. I say Pittsburgh more than Philly right now, at least in this next couple of days here. We're going to see what happens Sunday, which probably will change the trajectory, of the postseason. Depending on how Jalen Hurts plays, how Russell Wilson plays without a number one receiver, if they can make some Russ magic. Because Russ has owned us. Like, I don't know if you know this, but Russ has unbeaten against us.
I know he's either 5-0 or 4-0 versus Philly.
Yeah, he's never lost to Philly, but then again, though, I mean,
that's a Seattle thing.
Yeah, it might be a Seattle thing. We don't know. It might be a Russ thing. We don't know. I mean, different. We'll have to see. I mean, Kansas City also owns us. We've never beaten Kansas City until last year. Yeah,
on the road. Dramatic Monday Night Football.
It's just one of those things, and a lot of we'll get into the last 2023 collapse because since you can't talk about Philly right now without having that be in there right now with how they're looking. But my take is this: Jalen Carter is going to be a huge problem for you guys. You got a rookie center, and the only reason why Jalen Carter wasn't isn't wrecking the NFL right now because he's getting the teams that are going up against him are getting away with a lot of holding calls. The Ravens held them all game. You guys got two rookie players on his side of the line. You got Jordan Davis on another weak sideline where Big Brother Jones is going to be lining up on that side.
Well, it depends. All right, so Sayamalu, who was a former Eagle, is on the left side.
Yeah, Sayamalu is going to be your biggest help this week, I think. But you were saying?
I was going to say, I mean, Brother Jones is the right tackle. So unless you're talking about the interior. So either Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter is going to be going against two rookies.
Yeah, and you're going to have to chip them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're not going to leave a rookie.
No.
I would hope we're not going to see a rookie one-on-one with one of those two.
Unless you try doing what Baltimore did and give a quick little jet sweep from the inside and leave Jalen Carter unblocked, which to me was the stupidest thing ever to do. Like, why would you try that?
That's Baltimore.
But anyways, getting back to Philly, that's going to be the biggest problem there. Not even getting into Cooper DeJean, because Cooper DeJean last week looked human for the first time all season. Quinyon had his moments this past season, but Cooper got worked last week against Adam Thielen. 100 yards receiving, 10 catches. Cooper got worked. I think, honestly, it has to do with preparation. I think the Eagles are really kind of looking at you guys more than they were the Panthers and trying to get a restful game. They did not look like how they looked against Baltimore, how they looked against the Commanders, and how they looked against the Rams. I think this week is a get-right week. I was a little worried about this being, we're going to look to really fight Pittsburgh and really dominate, but we'll see. I mean, it's unfortunate George Pickens is down because I like to see Quinyon go up against Pickens so I can shut this guy up that's sitting next to me here. Saying that, well, he didn't play him, like, hey, he could be better, but we won't get to see that because by the time Eagles-Steelers play again, unless it's a Super Bowl or unless it's like some odd year where, we get the 2-year deal where we play your guys' division again for whatever reason, but I don't think that happens for another 4 years.
This won't happen until another 4 years.
So George Pickens won't even be a Steeler at that point.
No.
Because as we talked about multiple times throughout the months, you guys don't sign the receivers. Plus, Pickens has costed you guys a lot of penalties. Like I saw
he's a walking.
Today. He just casually grab a guy's face mask, nearly pulls off the helmet. It's like,
he's a walking penalty.
Yeah, he is. But also, it works for you guys' favor, too, because he also had to happen to somebody as well, where as soon as he goes up to run like a deep slant route, the guy pulls off his helmet, makes him fall, and then gets a pick six, first throw of the game for Russ.
Against the Bengals.
So
there was no flag on that either, by the way.
So it goes both ways, I guess. But without him, I think, because you talked about this that who are you going to pass it to? I think Russ is going to make some magic work, but it's going to be a little tough depending how that Eagles secondary plays Russ. And given how well they communicate. Given McCollum. Now, here's the thing, though. I saw that Blankenship had full week of practice this week. That's what
I know he got hurt. I know he got hurt 2 weeks ago against the Ravens.
Yeah, with the concussion. But he's back this week. So you're going to have a full, healthy safety set back in the backfield. And you're going to have a full, healthy front. The only person that you can work on is probably Slay, which might be a Mike Williams thing. That's why I honestly put... Because here's how the Steelers are probably going to end up beating the Eagles. Because that's who I got to take this week. Is Mike Williams going against Darius Slay. You have to take advantage of that. Russ will take advantage of that. Because whenever you put Slay against somebody, unless Isaiah Rodgers gets put in, Slay gets worked. Slay literally admitted last week saying, my 33-year-old legs gave out on me on the last play, so I had to make it up. Well, guess what? That's going to get you caught one of these times. It's going to get him caught in this game. I think Mike Williams gets that. The only issue is the run game. Like, you got to find a way. Warren's got to find a way to crack that open. Snaji's not going to be able to outrun Dean. He's not going to outrun Bond.
I don't see it.
The blitz coverages, I think, are going to get Russ early. Russ is not that mobile. So I expect to see a lot of Justin Fields on the field. Pun intended. Because I think Justin Fields you're going to need that mobility. You're going to need quick passes because that's how you're going to have to hit Philly with some quick double moves on the secondary, get the ball out quick, or else that defense is going to eat. Because I expect Jalen Carter to break up that 2-on-1 chip within maybe 2 seconds. So you're going to have maybe 2.5 to throw that football. So you got to know what your first read's going to. On the defensive side, my biggest thing to watch is T.J. Watt versus Lane Johnson. That's our biggest
Finally get to see it.
Prime and prime. That's a matchup I'm going to be watching most, I think, honestly. JPJ versus AJ, I think, might be. But I want to see... it depends on the passing game. Because I'm going to reference this. He told me not to, but I'm going to reference it. The whole 2 years ago when Minka Fitzpatrick got yeeted 3 times.
Embarrassing.
By A.J. Brown.
Embarrassing.
3 TDs. And A.J. just points at him on the third one. It's like, okay, this is your fault, that's your fault.
Basically, we got dicked on.
They got Moss 3 times.
We got bodied. That was embarrassing.
And Mika on the first one knew it too. He just lost track of the football in the sun. And again, it's a 425 game. You might have that. Again, the sun won't be setting yet. We'll see. But I don't think it's going to happen this time. I think Jalen probably might get one. But given that's where JBJ lines up, I think AJ will get one tutty, probably over 100 yards because he's been calling for the ball. So probably get him working, but in the right positions. I don't think the biggest thing about this week is everyone thinks AJ Brown's going to be force fed the ball. That's not how Jalen's been working this season. The Eagles aren't going to do that. Don't worry about it. For you Philly fans or just NFL fans looking forward to this game, we're going to be looking at. They're not going to force feed him. They're going to run with Saquon. That's the person you got to stop. Jalen Hurts then will beat you with AJ. I don't see Devontae might get a good game. I think Dante and Devontae's low-key a good matchup to watch. But I personally think AJ's going to get one over JPJ and Minka at least once.
How do you feel about the loss of Dallas Goedert for the next couple weeks?
Not too overwhelming because Grant Calcaterra's been playing pretty well. He got a first touchdown
I saw that
in
last
NFL
week.
career last week. He's low-key one of our better tight ends. He's kind of like a mini Dallas Goedert himself when Zach Ertz was in his prime. He's definitely filled up the role. The only person that, if you can lock up Calcaterra, Smitty, and AJ, and you somehow lock up Saquon, we're stuck. Because our third receiver hasn't really produced a whole lot.
Well,
with Dotson and Wilson, but that's still a huge...
What you just said
it's
is something... It's something not a lot of teams have been able to successfully really do.
No. Usually Philly does.
But really not even just that. I think what I'm anticipating is, because this has been the story of both teams, is the first quarter, I don't expect a lot of action to happen. We typically don't score a whole lot in the first quarter. Neither do the Eagles. It's going to be a lot of, like the early rounds of a boxing fight. So like, okay, we're filling you out. You're filling us out. I am on the air side of caution of a big play happening, though, right off the bat. That's my biggest concern is a couple plays in, the Eagles maybe take a deep shot, but it looks like they like to run up the ball. But my biggest thing is whoever wins the second half is going to win this game, as I've kept track, and the Steelers have a plus 90 score differential in the third quarter and a plus 10 score differential in the fourth quarter, while the Eagles typically win the third quarter, but they really pour it on in the fourth quarter, and that's when they take over.
Well, that's because usually defenses are tired, and that's when you run Saquon.
That's what I mean. They wear you out. They don't. It's not like they put up a crap ton early, but they just slowly wear you out in the fourth quarter. You can't tackle them. So that's my biggest thing is I think we're going to be in this game, say the first 2.5-ish, 3 quarters. But my thing is, how are we going to be able to move the ball efficiently? In the fourth quarter, I think Philadelphia slips away with some big Saquon plays. And, we've had about three games straight with 3+ takeaways, and that's going to be another way we try to win as we lead the league in takeaways with 25. But Philadelphia doesn't give the ball away. Saquon doesn't really fumble. I can't really think of when he's maybe fumbled this year.
Oh, he's fumbled. He's fumbled against the Jags game, nearly cost us the game for that.
True.
He's also fumbled against the Falcons as well, the ghost fumble.
Okay, so that was right earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And then Hurts hasn't really had any turnovers this year, which that was a big thing on him last year.
It wasn't the Falcons. Gosh, he's fumbled a couple times. Hurts has also fumbled too. They've had their turnover problems, but they definitely seem to fix it.
They definitely have been way better with that in comparison to last year. So that's my thing. If we don't get any takeaways on the road, you're going to need to score some points. And I think the Eagles pull away probably late in this game.
So here's how I see it. First quarter, Steelers are going to start off hot because we don't really do so hot on the first drive. That's when you guys got to beat us, is you got to change up your looks. Vic Fangio knows how to bend, don't break. You need to break us. You need to be able to run the ball down your throat. That's going to be difficult, probably running to the outside, allowing some of your bigger body receivers to kind of block Quinyon, Cooper, and Gardner. I personally probably run to Darius Slay. Again, 33-year-old legs, can't catch people. And he's not really that physical because his body's fragile now that he's older. Just my take.
Right.
I wish him the best, but just from what I've seen, he's not
Darius Slay that guy anymore.
No. Honestly, that's what I would do, and then give out quick passes, probably drive down the field. You don't want to kick a field goal. You don't want to start field goals against Philly. That's the first telltale sign. Okay, Philly's going to win this game because you bended them, but you didn't break them. Like, you need to get in the end zone, because guess what? The Rams were getting in the end zone, and then they stopped. They got
I mean, that's inevitable. That's inevitably going to happen because we don't have a good red zone offense. Though I will say, since Russ has started, we average about 28 points a game. Mm-hmm. But then again,
so do the Ravens.
I will say this: we haven't played a defense like the Eagles, and we were able to get away against Cleveland because Jameis Winston is a walking turnover. Mm-hmm. That's not Jalen Hurts, and that's not the Eagles defense, who's been top 5 across the board with a lot of statistics. I know they're number 1, and some of them I can't pinpoint which
they're
ones.
Number 1 in yards allowed.
So that's gonna be tough sledding.
Russ probably won't have a whole lot of yards passing. He's gonna have to.
He's gonna have to be.
He's gonna have to
efficient.
He has to be able to run efficiently. I mean, not run.
And honestly, I think going back to your point earlier, just for another way to potentially move the ball, I think Fields is going to be in there at times.
Yep, that's what you have to do. You have to have
find other ways to move the ball.
Mm-hmm. You have to have him and Warren. If you do him and Najee, Fields is going to get the ball, because that one play against the Browns where he ran for a first down, Philly's not going to allow that.
They're not going to bite on that.
No.
They're not. They're going to have. We'll let you get 5 or 6 yards up the gut maybe if the edge guy comes in.
Especially late in the game.
But especially late, they're going to say, nah, Fields, you're not going to keep this.
Yeah. Like, I can see Fields repping one like Hurts did against the Panthers game. I can see him doing that. But I don't see him doing that again. Because, again, Philly leads the league in fewest 20-plus yards plays.
They don't allow big plays. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, George Pickens is a walking big play, so not having him is definitely going to hinder things.
And even if he was playing, like, again, he's going to go against Quinyon Mitchell. I don't think Quinyon's going to I think he'll allow him some catches, maybe 3 targets, maybe 3 catches for 27.
It'd be a good matchup. It'd be a good matchup for sure. Because the biggest thing is with Pickens, it's not really his ability to create separation. It's more or less his ability to win those big-time possession plays where the defender's in a great spot, but he just pulls it. He It's you know what I'm saying.
It's AJ, yeah, it's AJ. But then again, I mean, he plays AJ every week, so it's like playing George Pickens every week.
This is true.
So it's just like
this is true.
You put in the fire, you're gonna learn how to stay alive in there. So that's just what I think. It's a great matchup for Quinyon than it is for.
Maybe we'll get to see it in New Orleans.
Maybe, but we both got to get there, and that means we got to go through the Lions, which I think would also be a slugfest. The Lions would definitely pour it in on us I think they could put up 28 in the first quarter. Because they're the number one scoring offense. That defense, I think, is questionable.
Definitely leaky. Definitely leaky.
I think Saquon probably had a field day because I don't think they can stop the run. But that's a conversation because again, it's Philly.
So we're gonna give a quick score prediction here, and then we're gonna dive into a couple other things. So, what is your official score prediction for this game? If you were to give a score prediction, what would you say in a range?
24-16. Like, I don't see us scoring more than 25 points, or us scoring more than 16 points.
You don't think the Eagles are score more than 16?
That's my take. I think you guys are going to win 24-16. Mainly because you guys are going to jump out early, and we got to play catch-up. I've yet to see this team have to play catch-up that much. And I think T.J. Watt, given Hurts, he has had problems reading the field for the past couple of weeks where he holds on the ball longer, and that's what causes sacks. Because he doesn't want to turn the ball over. So he'd much rather take a sack than turn the ball over. Which, a better decision than that is to throw the ball away. Like, you got to learn to do that. It's like live to see another down. Stop trying to play hero ball. That's what Carson Wentz did, and that's what bit him in the butt.
Yep.
This reminds me of the Carson Wentz time where it's like, okay, where he started becoming a turnover machine. He doesn't want, but Hurts is trying to play it smarter than that. So he has to overcome this. I can't see the field all the time. So he has to, in order to do that, he has to be better at knowing, okay, where is my cornerbacks? Where's my hot reads? Because the first play, I know a lot of people already looked into this about the first play of the game. A.J. Brown was open when that's your corner. Who's the corner that Carolina drafted a couple years ago?
J.C. Horn.
J.C. Horn, yeah. He bit on the intermediate route, which left A.J. Brown wide open. Hurts didn't see it, and Hurts pumped it and could have thrown it, but he chose not to, and he took the check down. Again, first throw of the game, but there were plays like that all day where he just held on the ball and got sacked. So I think TJ's going to get his because you can only block TJ for so long. I know Lane's great. I'm not saying Lane's not bad, but I think TJ's going to get maybe 1.5 sack. I think Highsmith is going to give us problems because Mailata's been pushed around a lot this season. That's what I think is going to get you guys to win, is because our offensive line might show some cracks, and Jalen his inability to make quick decisions or quicker decisions to get the ball out to his wide receivers. That's how you guys win. You guys got to jump out early, and you guys got to keep pouring it on. You guys can't be kicking field goals. If you guys kick field goals, we're gonna come back and it's gonna bite you. And that's something the Steelers have been doing. So that's something that they got to fix. So if you want to be a Super Bowl contender for the NFC, because right now the NFC I think playing a little bit better than AFC right now, outside of you guys, because the Chiefs and the Rams put 44 up on the Bills, and we dominated the Rams.
Yep.
So that defense is definitely questionable against the Bills. So I think the NFC is playing a heck of a lot better football, which is crazy to think. So I thought the AFC, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Tua, all those guys.
Herbert, Mahomes, Allen.
All those guys. And yet the NFC is playing better.
Stroud.
It's just crazy. But it's true because you look at the tail of the tape. Tape don't lie.
Nope.
That's something players say, something that I say. Tape don't lie. So
tape don't lie.
I definitely think I'm taking Pittsburgh on this one, only because I think Philly, this is the third time that we've, in the past 20 years, we've gotten a 9-game win streak. And usually this is the game we lose. So I think that we follow suit. But the last 2 times that we've had a 9-game win streak, we've gone to the Super Bowl. Or at least gone to the conference title game. So I like our odds for later. I don't like our odds for this week.
Wow. My score is very similar-esque. I actually have Philadelphia winning 23-16. I think this will be a lower scoring game than most people anticipate. I don't see a whole lot of offense.
I don't see it either. These are
two defensive built teams
who like to run the ball.
Especially leading into this game. And again, I don't see Najee having a big day, though it'd be great to see, but I don't see the big runs up the gut. We're not going to be able to do that. Going to have to try to run the ball to the outside.
Derrick Henry's Najee's a bootleg of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry did not have over.
No, Derrick Henry had like maybe 60 yards.
Maybe, yeah. So I don't. It's got to be Warren. Warren's got to be your savior because he's quick and he's nimble. He's swift.
Gonna have to do some screens to the outside or something.
Yep.
But yeah, I have 23-16. I think. I think that we are going to be kicking a lot of field goals. It's just the Eagles have a very. It's tough because they don't allow you to have big plays, so you have to win it play by play, long drives. And I just don't think we're going to be successful in having these 12-play drives of having good play after good play after good play unless you never know. Anything can happen, but
unless you guys take away what Carolina did, that might be your only shot because Carolina, at least Adam Thielen was hitting corners with double moves and getting open because of it. So,
but then again, kind of like what we even talked about this before that game. Like you said, I was worried about that game.
Yeah, it was a trap game. Yeah,
it was absolutely a trap game
because I think it was. I think Philly was trying to rest and take a breather and get ready for you guys because you guys and the Commanders are really our only test left. Because next after you guys play Commanders, then we got to play the Giants and Cowboys, and that's it. So
division games and a lot of it's at home. Mm-hmm. So I hope it's a good game, and I look forward to this one. It's a big game. Obviously, the Eagles already clinched the playoff spot. They're looking to keep up with Detroit, try to steal that 1 seed. Pittsburgh needs this game to clinch a playoff spot, though they could still make it in with other things that could happen their way. But real quick, as this game is going to be happening, I'm going to talk about I'll take the mic real quick.
There we go. Sponsor?
I'm going to mention some other games going on just to keep note of. 1 o'clock, we have the Bengals. Rats, who the fuck are they playing? I don't even remember. Forget them. They don't matter. Ravens are playing the Giants. I think the Ravens are probably going to win that, but go Giants.
Bengals playing Titans.
Oh, the Bengals are going to smoke them. Bengals will smoke them. 5-8, probably get a 6-8. Ravens 8-5. They obviously need to win. Then the Browns play the Chiefs. Go Browns. Hopefully they can be the ones to slow down KC finally as their luck and magic voodoo hopefully runs out. So that's some earlier games cracking. And then while the Steelers and Eagles are playing, there is another big-time matchup going on as we are going to witness the Detroit Lions play against the Buffalo Bills. Big-time game, lots of scoring, lots of offense here. Bills coming off of a big loss on the road at Los Angeles, and Detroit coming off of a big division win on Thursday Night Football versus the Packers. This should be a good one. I'm not sure who's going to win this game. This is a very close game.
Both have very leaky defense.
Yeah, I see a lot of points here for sure. Probably a 31-33 kind of game.
I think it's another 40-point game.
Maybe 40 points?
I think so.
That'd be something. I'm obviously going to root for Detroit. So hopefully we can try to steal this 2 seed or maybe 1 seed. But
I'm
again,
also rooting for the Lions. I mean the Bills.
Yeah, obviously he's rooting for the Bills. Should be a good game. I wish it was on earlier in the day or at a different time. For whatever reason, the way they scheduled this week, a lot of good games are on at 4. But I'm sure
the Chargers and the Bucks.
Buccaneers, Chargers, and Bucks. That's another big game. And then
Sunday night, Seahawks and
Seattle and Green Bay. That's another big NFC playoff important game. And then 2 Monday night games, which is weird. They both suck though. Raiders at home versus the Falcons, and then Minnesota at home versus Chicago. So, but
might be a trap game for Minnesota.
Probably.
Minnesota then next week takes on the Lions, I think.
Yeah, they actually play the last week of the season.
Okay, never mind then. No.
Because everybody plays like a division opponent the last week of the season.
Yeah.
But I think that'll about do it for this episode. It's been a long one, 34 minutes and counting. Friday, fun Friday. Got a big weekend, and hope you guys enjoyed the podcast episode number 62. Give the podcast a review, share it, love it. Blitzburg Coverage Podcast. We are everywhere: Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify. Give it a follow and let me know what do you guys think about this game. Who do you think is going to win? What other games you guys looking forward to? As there's a pretty good slate this weekend. And have a great weekend. Stay safe. We heading out. Anything you got to say?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
You heard the man. But hashtag here we go. Pittsburgh, let's get it.
Hashtag Fly, Eagles, fly.